Hello, welcome back to the Awakening Her podcast. How are you doing today, my friend? I'm sure I'll figure it out as I go through the episode, but I've got a little bit of the case of like the weirdos, like when you're feeling sassy and even, warming up to this and I'm walking around my house and I'm talking to myself and saying the weirdest things. And I was just, before I hit record, like, come on, check it out, come on. And I'm realizing my voices and how weird they are. And yeah, I've got a case of the weirdos. So welcome to the Awakening Her podcast. If you are new here, don't judge me for that, or do, whatever, I guess. But I am so excited that you are here today. Welcome to the show. This is where we talk about all things personal transformation, manifestation, healing, growth, and really expanding into that next level. All right, so today we are talking about something really, really good. We're talking about that feeling when you feel like you're literally doing everything you can, everything you know to do, everything within your resources, or you feel like you're literally doing everything right, but you still feel like crap. So I don't mean your whole life feel like crap, but what I mean is, and I'll get into it in the episode, for years I was doing all the things, being all the things, moving forward, doing this. It seemed fine. It wasn't like my life was in a hopeless spiral, but in my body, I was overstimulated. I was exhausted. I was tired. I was overwhelmed. I was feeling a lot of pressure. I was in chronic pain. I was dealing with all the things that I deal with in my body. So it's not like your life is in a rock bottom. It's when you feel like you're doing everything you know to do, but maybe your body just doesn't feel right. You feel stressed. You might feel anxious or dysregulated, or maybe you're wanting to move into your next level and you're wanting to have those extra results to back up literally all the things that you've been doing, that you've been trying, that you've honestly tried over all the years. And I mean, honestly, meaning you've invested the time, you've done the meditations, I know you've done courses or read books, and I am really ready to kind of break through this ceiling with you to get more results and to bring it into your body. So if you feel like you've been growing, healing, investing in yourself, showing up, doing, what you've known to do, and somehow still feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, foggy, unclear, in pain, just feeling like things are too much in one or more areas of life, this is what this episode is about. And I know it's really going to help to shift your energy. So welcome again to the show. And before we dive into that, I really want to say to stay tuned because I have something really exciting coming soon. I talked about it for a second on the last episode, and it's a container all about this, learning how to drop into the body, heal your relationship with it, step into your power in a way that really feels good, learn tools, and really have that embodied transformation. This is what it's all about. So if all those words and all this energy is like, yes, stay tuned on the show and also my social media on Instagram. It's below. Also, if you are really wanting to be on the Insider, you can look in the show notes, and I just encourage you to send me over an email. Let me know you want to be on the list, and I'll just let you know as the information is released, because we are ready to bring all this stuff we know and all the healing we've been doing into our body and healing our relationship with our body to really powerfully move ourselves forward, because it's the time in life. It's the fire horse energy. It's the time in our experience. It's 2026. Let's do this. Real embodied transformation. I am so here for it. I'm so happy to help you with it as well. So you can look in the show notes for that. And if you haven't grabbed a copy of my book yet, go ahead and do that. You're going to love it. Mini chapters, bite-sized chapters where you're just going to love it. You're going to have your favorites, go back and read certain chapters. It's been such an honor to have it out in the world and be hearing your feedback. It's called The Delicate Art of Transformation, and it truly does take you on this self-growth journey from where you are into that next level. So I'm really excited. And with that, that's all I got for you today. Let's dive into today's episode. So take a sip of water. Take a deep breath, drop your shoulders, and let's do this. Have you ever had that moment where you're like, I'm literally doing everything I know to do, so why do I still feel like crap? Why do I still feel anxious behind the scenes? Why do I still feel scared or stuck or exhausted or overwhelmed or overstimulated? You're trying to do the routines, the meditations. Maybe you're applying what you've learned in your business and you're like, I'm literally posting on Instagram. I'm doing what I know to do. Why do I feel disconnected? Why do I feel icky? Why do I feel let down by my life, by my results? Maybe it's one area of life. Maybe it's more. As I said in the intro, I know you've invested the time in yourself when it comes to self-growth, whether it's books or courses, maybe you've worked with coaches or, whatever your path has looked like, you've shown up. But maybe somehow in your physical body, you still feel that anxiety, or maybe it's digestion, maybe it's pain, maybe it's overwhelm. I think I mentioned that already. It's just one I deeply relate to. And it's where our body feels like it's too much, independent of what our physical life is doing. Because our physical life could look great, or it could look a little bit, like a goo phase right now. Either way, how do you feel in your body? How do you feel right now as you're expanding? And if you have, even a little bit where, you're feeling a little bit shut down, feeling a little bit overwhelmed, maybe it's pain, digestion, feeling just not yourself, not at home in your frame, maybe a little bit, maybe a lot, I can deeply relate. And I have lived there my entire life. Most of you know my story. You've heard it over and over, but I had an eating disorder. And when I really look back, since the time I was about 7, it wasn't that I was controlling food at that age, but that was when I was first bullied for my body. So from the time I was young, it started off with like a deep insecurity of my body, being self-conscious, feeling the F word in relation to weight. And continually battling with it to the point where when I became 17, 18, 19, 20, it just skyrocketed into a full-blown eating disorder. And so through that, I've had chronic pain since I was 12. I had a patch just about 5 years ago where my digestion was just so off. I felt like I carried weight for a long time that didn't match how I saw myself or even how I was necessarily eating. It didn't feel like who I was. It felt like it was quote unquote stubborn. And these are the types of things that come up. And yours might be a bit different. It might be more headaches or, something else immune that you're dealing with. But if you can relate to this episode is definitely for you. And you can be a high achiever in your career. You could be an awesome mom or key pillar of the community, or you're doing all the things. But when we feel not okay in our body, we don't need to hide that. We don't need to ignore that in the name of moving forward and having more success. We really want to bring it out into the light and learn how to nurture ourselves, mind, body, soul, abundance, all the ways. So as I just mentioned a second ago, I had an eating disorder. That was one journey in what I'm talking about. Another one is my business. And as I was building my business, I was investing in mentors. Like you guys, the last 15 years, I've invested in mentors and coaches and group programs and so much one-on-one work and deep dive work. I was doing all that. I was doing the inner work. I was doing the physical funnels and the webinars and the posting. At one point, I was posting 3 times a day on Facebook, Original OG, every single day, like for years. What? How? What? Anyway, I was doing literally all the things. And in my body, I felt terrible. I was comparing myself to others. I always felt insecure. I never knew if anything was going to land. If people signed up, I was stoked. If they weren't, I was heartbroken and I'm a failure. I was also in, as I mentioned, I had chronic pain. I was getting really overstimulated. I worked more and more and more to gain success in the beginning of my business. It was like, I'm going to make this thing happen, this entrepreneurship, I'm going to do it. So I was working really hard, hunched over a computer as much as possible, and slowly crashing and burning, feeling that overstimulation, feeling, I wouldn't say it was anxiety, but just constant overwhelm, pain. I felt this pressure financially. I've got children. We need to figure it out. And that was what was going on behind the scenes, even though in my business, again, I'm doing all the things. So when you look at that, on paper, out in the world, you can be doing all the things, but in your body, if you do not feel good, It's not sustainable, and it's not the true path of where I encourage you to, in your mind's eye, see where you're headed in the next 6 months, in the next 3 months. What's your next level? Get a sense of that version of you, and then really look at it and go, are you hunched over a computer all the time? Are you feeling sluggish? Are you overstimulated, overwhelmed? Probably not. So it's a feeling in your body that you're seeking, as well as the success or the goals or whatever it is. So when that hit me, especially in my business, that you can do everything right strategically, like I was investing in programs that were $10,000 to learn strategies that quote unquote should have worked. But you can do everything okay and perfect and tickety-boo and tick all the boxes on the outside. But if your body feels terrible, your life is going to feel terrible. And I did not say, just for clarity, I didn't say your life is going to be terrible. That's very dramatic. Your life is awesome. It's your life will feel. Your experience of your life will feel terrible. I don't know if sometimes I get all slow down, but it's these are the things that really hit me and really have made a huge change in my life and really help my clients. If your body feels terrible, your experience is going to be tinged that way. Just think of any time, or if you do now, have digestive issues or have pain, something like that. Or if you're starting to come down with a cold, or you're having, a migraine, if your body feels terrible, your whole day is not as good. And that's not your fault. That's not, just think positive. It's true. So not just about now, because we all are going to get a flu or something's going to happen once in a while, but thinking more into the everyday. If your body feels good, your life starts to feel better, because your body isn't separate from your success or separate from your healing or separate from your growth. It's the environment that everything is happening inside of. It's the home of your soul. It's the shell that you have this time. So if your body, imagine your body like a car, and you get one car in this lifetime. And if you only had one car in this whole lifetime, how would you treat it? How would you do oil changes? Would you be on top of the rust spots or those little ticking noises or that light on the dash? You get one body this time. So as we move away and heal the wounds of what it should look like, and more about feeling enough, and not even feeling enough, more about aesthetics. When I had an eating disorder, I was really focused on weight and size and all that. For me, it shifted away from that. And it's more about feeling good on the inside. So if I'm going on walks, it's because simply, with nothing else attached, it feels good. It's not about calories. For me, it's not about distance. I'm not training for something. It's just because it feels good to drink water, I just made a huge batch of homemade granola with nuts and seeds. It's just because it feels good in my body. Eat it with some fruit and yes, that's it. Just because it feels good, because I aim at feeling good in my body. And I know that topic goes really deep. And in this upcoming program and all this, I'm going to be talking about it more on the show and, with you guys, because it's really, really important. So when I had that realization that if I can do everything right on the outside, but if my body feels like crap, my life isn't going to feel good. If I'm hunched over my computer writing emails, but my body is screaming at me, how successful is that really? Even if that email gets a great open rate, looking at sustainable success and looking after myself along the way, it doesn't really match up. So I was constantly trying to heal my life. Right? Doing all the right things in my business. Also, as I said, with coaches and programs, especially healing and deep wound healing, and realizing I had this wound and that wound. Okay, I don't want to discount that work. Very, very important. But as I was doing that, I was running on low sleep, dysregulated energy, not being able to say no, doing a lot of people pleasing or sort of fawning or whatever you want to call it behavior, undernourished in my body, overstimulated in my body, and so many other things, wondering why the hell I felt like crap, but I'm trying to heal the abandonment wound. And so again, it's not that it's one or the other. And it's not that you can't do it at the same time or that you should do it, whatever. It's more bringing it into the body is about addressing the body. And you get one body in this lifetime. So everything you do to simply nourish your body, your shell, your meat suit, like your human physiological body, it needs sleep, it needs water, it needs nutrition in some form or another, it needs vitamins, it needs to move or else it'll atrophy. Like as a very simple body, you need to look after yourself for you to start to really enjoy your life more. And I'm not saying you're not looking after yourself, because I know there are ways, but there's sometimes just some areas of life where we're really not. You know, you might be rocking fitness, but you're not getting enough sleep. Or maybe nutrition's on point, but there's something else that's going on that's really unhealthy to the body. Whatever it is, no judgment, but it's bringing these into more balance and really looking after our shell. Because you can do all the things, but if you're running on low sleep and dysregulated energy and a lot of toxins in your body, undernourished, overstimulated, these things are going to make you not feel as good and not have as good of results when you go to energy, manifestation, all that. So this is where the nervous system really comes in. If your body doesn't feel safe, and a lot of you know a lot about this, a lot of you are newer to this stuff, but if your body doesn't feel safe, just meaning you're overwhelmed, you're depleted, you're in pain, those types of things. It doesn't always mean something, physical is happening or you're being, chased by an animal. But when you talk about the nervous system safe, if you're constantly overwhelmed, if you're constantly exhausted, or you're constantly on, you're depleted, you're having to always go, 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 you're feeling anxious, you're feeling exhausted, foggy, reactive. This is not because you're broken or you just need to somehow handle more. It's because your system is overloaded. And the more you live like that, the more your brain wires it as normal. Maybe you grew up in a household where that was modeled. Whatever the reason is, here we are. And there's no shame. We're heavily trained. These things happen over time. Me too. But neuroplasticity is beautiful. And this is where, in one way, we've rewired ourselves to almost reinforce feeling bad or feeling, some people say like chaos feels normal or comfortable or something like that. And sometimes the go, 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 the anxious, the reactive, the on the move, the never stop, that can start to feel like normal. But when you realize, and for me, I realized I actually don't want to feel like this anymore. And that was when I talk about lightening up and when my body started dramatically changing in about August last year. It was like, I'm done with the heaviness. And I didn't mean in my body at the time at all. I don't want to feel this anymore. I don't want to wake up exhausted. I don't want to be overstimulated all the time. I don't want anxiety and tension in my muscles running my entire day or being there all day. I don't want my body to hurt like this and feel like I'm suffering. I don't want to feel behind or crappy about myself or alone. I don't want to feel like I'm self-sabotaging and all that. And I know that none of us want to feel that. But to me, after the washing machine year of 2025, I got to that point where I was just done. And that clarity, that simple clarity changed everything. It was like, I don't want to feel all of this anymore. So of course I started asking myself, first of all, what do I want to feel? But even at that point, I wasn't even ready for that because I'd be like, well, I want to feel joy. I want to feel, but it wouldn't have really landed. But what I did start asking myself was, what could make this moment feel even a tiny bit better? So is it lighting incense as I'm cleaning because that goes like, is it going outside in the garden for 15 minutes instead of thinking I need to do all this shit or whatever because I would feel better? Is it closing down 80% of my business because I just need a break? Is it not putting the pressure on myself to exercise every day, but gentle stretching feels really good? What feels better? Just a little bit better. Would drinking water make you feel a little bit better? Would putting ice or lemon in that water make you feel a little bit better? Would putting cucumber make you feel better? These types of things, these little tiny things, help to start to bring more pleasure, more enjoyment, and also make what you're doing in your everyday life more enjoyable. So when you literally have a jug of water in the fridge and you put a little mint sprig, maybe some lime, you drink that water, you're like, yeah, what am I at the spa? If you pack that water in your car today when you're out running errands or when you go to work, now when you open it up, you're like, yeah, it feels so good. These simple things to bring joy make everything else you're doing more pleasure filled. So if you're in a season right now of big success and moving forward and really moving into achieving some big things or stepping into some big things, when you bring in pleasure and well-being, you start to reverse the exhaustion. When you start to look after yourself, when you start to nurture your body as part of your success plan, we start to reverse and soften the anxiety, the tense shoulders, the go, go, go with no enjoyment, right? So maybe start by asking yourself, what would make this day feel better, or what would make this moment feel better or worse? With the fabrics you choose to wear, with the music you listen to in the car or not. Maybe putting the window down and feeling the breeze in your face, would that make you feel better? Would dancing around make you feel better? On a really hard day, would self-compassion make you feel better? And start to try to follow that path. And really listen to yourself and your body and really inquire around things like undersleeping, being on your phone a lot. It fucks with our brain, for lack of better words. Or maybe you're pushing through everything like I was, putting the check boxes way higher on the priority list than regulating my nervous system or taking a shower or going for a walk. Maybe we need to really see if we're talking to ourselves in a way that feels crappy or ignoring what our body needs. And these are the places where we start to listen. And we start to listen from a place of love and inquiry. What do I need to feel my best? And we have to really also at this time let go of like the shoulds. I was talking about that in the last episode. Because if I say, what do I need to feel my best? And all of a sudden our brain goes to, well, I need to go to the gym 3 days a week and I need to take all my vitamins and all my supplements and get way more protein. It starts to again feel overwhelming. But no, stop. What do you need to feel better? Maybe it's little pockets of de-stimulation. Maybe it's going out on that little nature trail by your house, or being around people that make you feel good, or simply getting more sleep. It's incredible what a good night of sleep does. These are so simple. And I started resting without guilt, taking a bath in the middle of the day, as I've shared with you guys, drinking water like it mattered. Like I drink water and I think, here you go, body. And I hear my body be like, thank you. And all my cells are like, it's like quite the thing. But drinking water because it matters, not because you should or because it's, to flush out fat or whatever. And no judgment on any of that either. But that's been my journey, is just drinking water because I feel better, because my body matters. My needs matter. So I also started eating in a way that supported me more. And it wasn't just about everything got super healthy. I've always, nutrition's always been an important part of my life, but even some things like too much protein. I notice my digestion gets sluggish, or eating at certain times a day are more beneficial to me. So starting to notice those types of things. And also slowing down when I feel overwhelmed, giving myself space to feel, to act, to do, to take a bold action and then freak out a little bit, as I've shared with you guys, but just slowing down, because rushing is so activating. Rushing is so stressful. And I've done that for so long. It's stressful to the body. It literally makes my body more tense and more in pain. So all these things, the resting, going to bed earlier, my husband and I have both been doing that. And I'm just like, let's just go to bed. And he's like, yeah, let's just do it. I'm like, I know we could stay up. We could chat for an hour. We could make tea. We could watch a show. We could get into a movie. We could whatever. But I really value sleep because I feel so much better tomorrow. My tomorrow self is really going, yeah, go to bed. So starting to think like this really makes everything else you're doing so much better. And it gives the foundational roots, because everything you are moving through, all the growing, those of you that have businesses or have projects or have goals and dreams, those of you in self-growth, in deep healing, moving mountains, setting boundaries, you've been doing a lot. And you also deserve to not just endlessly do more and search. You deserve to feel good. You deserve to feel good right now in your body. So resting without guilt, drinking water like it matters, taking your vitamins if they really support you. Noticing the things that, you say yes at the same time as your body screaming no. Starting to notice these things. Slowing down, de-stimulating. Why? Because you love yourself and it makes you feel better. And I started doing it not from a should, but just because I didn't want to feel like crap anymore. I was doing all the things on the outside. Some of you guys took my workshops or listened to my episodes, my programs during that time. I was still delivering. I was showing up, but at the expense of myself, which was the huge turning point. So if you can relate to this, it's your body's turn to give you the messages, to lead. But it's also time to nurture it and step into that. And for those of you that do have body goals around whether it's hormones or, as I've been mentioning, digestion or strength, mobility, flexibility, maybe it is getting into better shape or feeling great in your body, it changes everything. Your body is the shell that you experience this life through. So when you have less toxins, more water, more rest, more calm time, your body does digest better. I could, with all my food training and all that stuff, I could geek out on this forever. Your body doesn't even absorb the same amount of nutrients. It doesn't absorb or digest properly when you are stressed. I just want to leave that fact there. You can only digest properly and absorb nutrients properly when your stomach is not in a state of stress, meaning your nervous system isn't in reaction. So simple things like that, if being in stress has the ability to inhibit digestion and how many nutrients you absorb, imagine what else it's doing. It's feeding inflammation, it's causing the headaches, it's having you spin out, it's making energy crash and up and down, it's feeling exhausted, it's feeling foggy, it's bloating, it's feeling like there's weight that doesn't match who you really are. These things are when the body is speaking to you. And so if you feel any of these things, I want to just reiterate, me too. This has been a lifelong journey for me, but the last 6 months has been the complete holy crap, I see now what I had been missing. So when your body starts to feel supported, everything starts to change. Your emotions feel different. Your capacity to move forward and hold more stimulus and hold stress and do big things and all that, your capacity expands, and even your thoughts shift. And for me, since August, I've now released over 40 pounds. And I've been saying it a few times, but I also don't say it a lot because I don't think that's what's important. I came from an eating disorder. So talking too much about weight, we start to miss the point. But the point here is that I've never done that without forcing it. I, at one point, from my biggest to my smallest, actually now I think I'm small, it doesn't really matter, but there was a time I lost 65 pounds, but it was because I was in an eating disorder. This time, it's been anything but focusing on my weight. Anything but. It's been my nervous system feeling good, drinking water because I love myself, but nothing massive has changed. It's not like I found this crazy workout program or, oh my gosh, I changed my diet completely. It's not none of that. It's an energetic thing. I'm releasing what does not serve me. I'm looking after my body. It's the energy, if any of you resonate with the chakras, the root chakra. When you look after yourself, when you rest, when you feel safe and secure and grounded in your life, everything else can build from there. And that's the difference this time. That's the difference for me in my life. That's what's released the weight. That's what literally cured the digestive issues I was having for a few years. They're just gone. And more importantly than any of that, I feel so much better. I can handle things. I would say I'm not constantly overwhelmed, but what I'll say is I know exactly what to do with the overwhelm, to feel it, to alchemize it, do some walking on my walking pad, or know the tools to use to drop in, to shift the perspective, or just sometimes cry. It's all good. It doesn't mean I'm not feeling things. It actually means I'm allowing myself to feel things. Like I can actually feel what it feels like to be in my body instead of fighting it. So if you're in that place where you're really feeling like that, I'm doing everything right. Maybe it's in your career, you're trying to do all the self-growth stuff and you're feeling disconnected from your body, or you're simply just feeling not great. We want to take the energy and put it on the body. Because again, one good night's rest. Or if you like fitness or movement, like you go on a hike and you're like, yes, you do an awesome workout. Yeah. You put on music and dance around, you get invigorated. It actually, this is an episode for another time, but it generates life force. I'm going to talk about that in the upcoming thing, because when we get into our body and feel vital and pump up our energy and feel good, we generate life force that gives us more physical energy to get things done, to feel more vital, to feel more excited in our life. So I want you to look less at what you're doing and how much more information you can take in, and a little bit more on how does my body feel day to day? What is it asking for? Just starting very simple, water, movement. Maybe when you're at your desk, it's asking you to get up every half an hour and move your body, or, to spend more time outside, or there's a certain vitamin or mineral that really makes a difference and your body's like, yeah, I could really use that. Simple things, because it's going to be the piece that changes everything. Your relationship with yourself, your relationship with your body, the way your body physically feels and looks and bees, it changes when we learn how to look after it. And at some points, I think, I would have said, I've always felt like I was working against my body. But when you think of that, imagine your body as the other one on the receiving end of that, and you've been working against it. I almost want to go like, oh, body, never mind. I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean to work against you. It was that it felt like I was fighting my body. It wasn't doing what I wanted. It didn't look like how I wanted it. Pain, all these things I'm talking about. I was fighting my body. So when you look at that, the body's on the other end going, dude, I'm just trying to digest your food and move you around and grow your hairs. And I'm doing the best I can given the circumstances, given the environment. And I'm just joking here. There's never any shame, no blame. It's actually empowerment. When we come back into relationship with our body and we go, oh my gosh, okay, I'm ready to listen. I'm ready to just start to explore what that looks like. And it is when it comes together, we honor our body as a physical shell that needs rest, that needs water, that needs a bit of movement. We look at our body as something that we want to be friends with, and we inquire, how are you doing? What do you need? We build a relationship with it. And then we also start to become more aware of maybe what it's holding or what it wants to say, what our pain is telling us, what our digestion might be telling us energetically. And this is also held in our body, like the body keeps the score, right? We can also learn to feel the reverse of that, the joy, the excitement in our body, and fully anchor it into our body so we can experience this life. Our relationship with our body goes deep, and whether you've been called there for things like weight, or you've struggled with body image, or feeling okay in your skin, or anything that I've really talked about, I've given all the examples in this episode. If you relate to all of that, your body's speaking for you, or to you, sorry, your body's speaking to you, and it's going to be the piece that makes all the difference. Trust me. So I am so excited that you are here today. Do something for yourself. Do something for your body, even if it takes just 30 seconds. Give yourself a hug, have a shower, go on a little walk, have a nourishing dandelion tea. Give your body some love today because it absolutely deserves it and you deserve it. All right. Again, if this resonates, check the show notes below for this program just to be on the insider, to have the details as it's released, as it comes, because as I've mentioned, there's also a wacky idea. This isn't just a something group program. There's a whole other thing that I cannot wait to share, but it's wacky and wild, and I will talk to you about it as I can. So with that, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will also see you in the next episode. All right. Namaste, friend.